To millions of television viewers, the Brady Bunch represented the perfect American family. Every episode seemed to end with a valuable life lesson, a warm embrace, and the reassuring message that love could solve almost any problem. The Brady household looked cheerful, wholesome, and nearly flawless, making it one of the most recognizable sitcoms in television history. But once the cameras stopped rolling, reality proved to be far more complicated. Behind the bright smiles and carefully written scripts were actors navigating fame at an incredibly young age, struggling to separate their on-screen identities from their real lives. For many of the cast members, growing up inside one of television's most beloved families created a unique kind of bubble, a world where public expectations often overshadowed personal freedom. One of the biggest challenges came from instant fame. The 6 young actors who played the Brady children became household names almost overnight. While most children were attending school without much attention, Barry Williams, Maureen McCormick, Christopher Knight, Eve Plum, Mike Lookinland, and Susan Olsen were constantly recognized by fans. Simple activities like shopping, going to the movies, or spending time with friends often became public events. Their fictional family had become so convincing that many viewers believed the actors behaved exactly like their characters in real life. For Maureen McCormick, who portrayed the cheerful Marcia Brady, the pressure of living up to America's ideal daughter became overwhelming. Audiences expected her to be perfect, confident, and endlessly optimistic. Off-screen, however, she faced personal struggles and the difficult transition from child star to adult actress. Years later, McCormick openly discussed the challenges she experienced, helping fans understand that even television's brightest smiles can hide private battles. Barry Williams, who played Greg Brady, also found it difficult to escape his famous character. As the oldest Brady son, he became a teenage heartthrob whose popularity brought incredible opportunities, but also constant expectations. Casting directors frequently saw him as Greg rather than as a versatile actor, making it difficult to move into dramatically different roles after the sitcom ended. Christopher Knight, remembered as Peter Brady, also experienced similar challenges. Although he eventually built a successful career in business and technology, many people continued identifying him almost exclusively with the lovable middle Brady brother. Rather than fighting that legacy forever, Knight eventually embraced it, recognizing the positive impact the series had on generations of viewers. Another cast member who sought a different path was Eve Plum, who portrayed Jan Brady. Instead of remaining trapped by her television image, she carefully pursued more dramatic acting opportunities and later developed a passion for painting. Her career demonstrated that actors can successfully reinvent themselves while still appreciating the roles that first made them famous. Mike Lookinland, who played Bobby Brady, chose perhaps the quietest life of all. Rather than remaining in Hollywood, he gradually stepped away from acting and focused on family and work outside the entertainment industry. His decision reflected a desire for normalcy after spending much of his childhood under television spotlight. The youngest Brady sibling, Susan Olsen, grew up with millions of viewers watching her every stage of childhood. While Cindy Brady appeared carefree on television, Olsen later described the unique pressures of growing up as a public figure. Like many former child actors, she spent years establishing an identity beyond the role audiences remembered so fondly. The adults in the Brady household also experienced unexpected realities. Robert Reed, who portrayed the dependable Mike Brady, often found himself at odds with the show's increasingly lighthearted storylines. A classically trained actor with a passion for serious drama, Reed sometimes wished the series explored more realistic family situations. Nevertheless, his professionalism ensured that viewers never saw those creative disagreements reflected in his warm performance as television's favorite father. Meanwhile, Florence Henderson, beloved as Carol Brady, embraced her status as America's television mom while balancing an active career beyond the sitcom. She became a successful singer, television host, and stage performer, proving that her talents extended far beyond the Brady living room. Henderson's warmth and generosity helped maintain lifelong friendships among the cast long after the series concluded. The cast's enduring bond remains one of the most remarkable aspects of the Brady Bunch. Despite personal struggles, career challenges, and the pressures of lifelong fame, reunions over the years revealed genuine affection between many of the actors. They understood something few others could: what it was like to spend their youth inside one of television's most famous families. More than 5 decades after the series premiered, the Brady Bunch continues entertaining new generations through reruns and streaming platforms. Yet today's audiences also appreciate the real stories behind the familiar faces. The actors were never as perfect as their characters, and they were never meant to be. They were talented individuals learning to navigate extraordinary circumstances while growing up under constant public attention. In many ways, the cast truly did live inside a bubble, one created by fame, nostalgia, and the lasting success of a television phenomenon. But beyond that bubble were real lives filled with triumphs, disappointments, resilience, and personal growth. Their journeys remind us that while television can create perfect families, the people who bring those families to life are wonderfully human. And perhaps that is the most meaningful legacy the Brady Bunch has left behind. Although the Brady Bunch aired for only 5 seasons between 1969 and 1974, its cultural impact has lasted for generations. Through endless reruns, reunion specials, spin-offs, and movies, the Brady family became more than television characters. They became American icons. Yet living inside such an enormously successful franchise often meant the cast found it difficult to escape the image that had made them famous. For many of the actors, life after the series became a balancing act between embracing the Brady legacy and creating identities of their own. One surprising fact is that the 6 child actors spent so much time together that they developed friendships resembling those of actual siblings. They celebrated birthdays, shared school experiences, traveled together for promotional events, and spent long hours filming. While this created lifelong bonds, it also meant much of their childhood unfolded within the unique environment of a television production. Their lives were far different from those of most children growing up during the same era. As the years passed, several cast members admitted that becoming permanently associated with their Brady characters sometimes limited professional opportunities. Producers often struggled to imagine them in dramatically different roles because audiences instantly recognized them as members of television's favorite family. This phenomenon, commonly known as typecasting, became one of the greatest obstacles many of them faced after the sitcom ended. Maureen McCormick later revealed that the enormous expectations placed upon her affected both her confidence and her career choices. Fans everywhere expected Marsha Brady to remain cheerful, beautiful, and flawless forever. Whenever she appeared in public, strangers often treated her as though she truly were Marsha rather than an actress playing a role. Learning to separate her personal identity from her famous character became one of the greatest challenges of her life. Barry Williams experienced similar attention throughout his young adulthood. Greg Brady had become one of television's biggest teen idols, attracting thousands of admirers wherever he appeared. While the popularity was exciting, it also created pressure to maintain an image that wasn't always consistent with real life. Over time, Williams embraced his connection to the series, frequently participating in reunion shows, documentaries, and stage productions celebrating the Brady legacy. Christopher Knight discovered success in an entirely different field. After acting opportunities became less frequent, he entered the business and technology industries, where he built a successful career away from Hollywood. His story demonstrates that life after television can lead to unexpected achievements far beyond the entertainment world. Eve Plum carefully selected acting projects that challenged audience expectations. Rather than simply repeating the wholesome image of Jan Brady, she accepted dramatic roles in television movies and theater productions that showcased her versatility. She also became an accomplished painter, with her artwork displayed in galleries across the United States. Her creative journey proved that reinvention is possible, even after starring in one of television's most recognizable families. Mike Lukenland chose perhaps the most private path of all. Leaving Hollywood behind, he focused on raising a family and building a quieter career away from cameras. Unlike many former child stars who remained in the spotlight, Lukenland preferred a more ordinary lifestyle. Even so, he occasionally reunited with former cast members, demonstrating his appreciation for the friendships formed during the show's production. Susan Olsen, forever remembered as Little Cindy Brady, grew up before millions of viewers. As she matured, she explored careers in radio broadcasting, graphic design, and animal advocacy, while remaining connected to fans through interviews and convention appearances. Her willingness to discuss both the joys and challenges of child stardom has given audiences a deeper understanding of what life inside the Brady phenomenon was really like. The adults of the Brady household also carried fascinating stories beyond the sitcom. Florence Henderson became one of television's most beloved personalities, appearing on talk shows, hosting programs, performing on stage, and participating in reality television. Her kindness and professionalism earned admiration throughout Hollywood, and she remained deeply connected to her Brady family until her passing in 2016. Robert Reed's experience was more complicated. Although audiences adored him as Mike Brady, Reed often hoped for more complex storylines and dramatic material. Nevertheless, he remained deeply connected to the young cast members, frequently helping them with acting techniques and supporting them behind the scenes. Many of the Brady children later described Reed as a mentor who genuinely cared about their personal and professional development. Another little-known aspect of the series was how different the actors' real personalities often were from the characters they portrayed. The confident Greg could be shy, the perfect Marcia sometimes struggled with self-doubt, and the quiet Jan possessed remarkable determination. These contrasts remind us that actors create believable characters precisely because they draw upon imagination rather than simply portraying themselves. Over the decades, documentaries, memoirs, and cast interviews have revealed countless behind-the-scenes stories that fans never imagined while watching the show. Friendly rivalries, practical jokes, youthful crushes, demanding filming schedules, and the challenge of balancing schoolwork with television production all became part of the Brady experience. These memories have added new layers to the show's legacy, making the cast's real-life journey almost as fascinating as the sitcom itself. Perhaps the most remarkable achievement of the Brady Bunch is that its message of kindness, patience, and family togetherness continues to resonate with audiences around the world. While the actors faced personal struggles, career disappointments, and the pressures of lifelong fame, they also experienced extraordinary opportunities and formed friendships that lasted a lifetime. Today, more than half a century after the series first aired, the Brady cast remains closely associated with one of television's happiest families. Some members are no longer with us, while others continue sharing stories with devoted fans who have cherished the series for generations. Their lives remind us that behind every beloved television character stands a real person with dreams, challenges, successes, and disappointments. The Brady house may have existed on a Hollywood soundstage, but the experiences of the actors were entirely real. Their journey beyond the cameras reveals a story far richer and more complex than any 30-minute sitcom could ever tell. That is why the legacy of the Brady Bunch continues to endure, not simply because of its memorable episodes, but because of the remarkable people who brought television's most famous family to life.